Good morning and welcome to Wilkens Auctions and Appraisals. We are now previewing for our March 3rd Fine and Decorative Arts and Design auction, and we just wanted to give you a quick preview of the gallery. We're open today from 12 to 5 p.m. and then again tomorrow on Monday from 12 to 7. We're introducing a new component, which is a video vlog, and this is Susan Slattery, and she's going to be speaking about this wonderful work by the artist Keith Bentley. It's called The Dying Slave. So Susan, why don't you give us a historical perspective on this work?
Thanks, Andrea. Keith Bentley is a living artist who divides his time between the United States and Canada. In Toronto, he's represented by the Lonsdale Gallery. This piece, which is very, very classic in his work, it has been called kind of a take on iconic references to religion, to gender, and to sexuality. So what is this work really about? I think the first clue is in the title, The Dying Slave for Michelangelo. If we look at images of the dying slave done by Michelangelo, you will see that the figure presented here is almost an exact replica of that image. Now, the image of the dying slave was done by Michelangelo in the early 16th century as part of a figural series that were meant to accompany the tomb of Pope Julius II. In that image, Michelangelo presented a depiction of almost the perfect male body, a platonic ideal, caught in the moment of death as the spirit transcends the flesh. But that isn't the only reference that we can see here. The arrows that pierce this figure are in no way original to Michelangelo. They refer back to an earlier figure, Saint Sebastian, who was an early Christian martyr of the 3rd century AD. Saint Sebastian was a Roman soldier who was caught up in the purges of the Christians by the Emperor Diocletian. He's almost always depicted as a perfect male body again, with the arrows piercing him as he transcends that moment from life to death. So again, we have two references that seem to talk about perfect male beauty and that image when spirituality transcends the material. So that's certainly a very valid reference. I think the third reference that we can't ignore is this bright blue color. Again, not original to either Michelangelo or depictions of Saint Sebastian. The vivid blue color that we see here is quite clearly a reference to the international Klein blue that was invented and patented by the French artist Yves Klein in the 1960s. Klein, when asked about his patented blue, explained it as being a physical way to transcend materiality and enter the realm of immateriality or the spiritual. So in purchasing a sculpture like this, you're not only purchasing the sculpture by Bentley, you're purchasing this whole layering of references that take you back through time and through art historical reference. On top of that, I think we have to think of this as a design item in its own. It has its own beautiful lines with the curved figure being contrasted with the sharp points of the arrow. Not to mention, this would be an arresting focal point for any modern or minimalist room. And so here, this is how we live with art. We live with art both on a cognitive level and on an emotional, tactile response to it. So thanks very much.
That's great, Susan. Thank you so much. So we look forward to seeing you at 1 William Morgan Drive in Leaside, Toronto.